Welcome, my ninjas. So I've decided we are all appreciation ninjas, and here we are. We're not only appreciation ninjas, we are space ninjas. And today I hope you can hear me over the wind. I am outside. It is a bright day. I do not have sunglasses, so I may be working with my eyes closed sometimes. That's okay. That's extra eustress challenge for me for level 3. So our first 3 levels 0, 1, and 2, we were stationary spheres. So our feet were planted, we shifted foot position. So we get familiar with different foot positions as we're moving around, either level 2 or level 1 or level O, and alternating between all of those. So we've been becoming familiar with what's the best place to put our feet to apply force so that the force is being carried through into our knee joint in a way that best supports the knee, so that we have even wear as we're going through our daily lives. That's part of the training that we're doing here with our focus on our feet, paying attention to our foot position so that our feet are landing correctly, because as we move on to level 3, we're now picking up our feet and moving our spheres. We are now mobile spheres. So some people would call this dancing, especially when you throw in our level 2 arms, or our level 1, or our O's. And when we first start out, you see I have this platform here. It's maybe about 3 by 3 feet of space. So you see that we don't necessarily need a whole lot of space to do level 3. It's more about increasing the activity and the motion and the changing from being a stationary sphere to a mobile sphere. My platform is uneven, so I have to modify and adjust for this uneven platform. When you start out, I recommend starting out on a flat, even surface. But for myself, I'm working on this platform because it provides me great eustress training, as well as it is a wonderful platform that provides a great background here for my presentation to you of elementally intuitive movement. So with level 3, we are paying attention to our breath, right? We're paying attention to our foot placement, but now we are having to pay attention as well to our greater sphere. So we are no longer stationary spheres, which means that our spheres, as mobile spheres, are extending their reach. So we want to be sure that our environment is clear so that we can move freely through space. As we are continuing to explore space with our arms, we'll do our level 2 arms, or we could do some 1s, or we could do some O's, whichever, alternate. If you want to, you could set yourself a pattern or rotation. You could do 0, 1, 2, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, however you want to do that, whatever, or not, or don't even think about it. Mainly just move your body around. The more quickly we move, the more force we're applying to our bodies, as well as as we're moving through space, we're applying more force. More quickly we move, right? And more force on our feet. The more force that we're applying on our feet and on our bones, we're helping to increase their strength. We're helping to increase the strength of our bones, especially as we're developing, and get our joints have some impact there so that our joints are getting resistance, they're getting pressure. That means that they have to build up against that pressure, build up against that resistance, and stay strong. If we're not providing our bodies enough motion and mobility, enough force, then we're not getting enough healthy stress. We need enough healthy stress for our bodies to adapt to that stress, for our bodies to be strong. If we don't give ourselves enough healthy stress, then our bodies don't cope well, either with distress or just life in general, because we need stress. So one of the easiest ways to increase the stress onto our bodies is jump. So we can throw in a little bit of jumping. If we want, we can march. But be sure that your feet are landing in a position that feels comfortable. Be sure that it feels good while you're doing it. If it feels uncomfortable, don't do that. Do it a different way. If you find that you're losing track of your breath, you're losing track of where your feet are placing and things are kind of feeling uncomfortable, then go back to being a stationary sphere. It's okay. We can be stationary for a while, Do some level 2, do some level 1, do some O's, and then get back to moving around and exploring your sphere, exploring space, shifting position, whether you're doing it slowly or quickly, and alternating between moving quickly and slowly, just to increase the challenge on yourself and pay attention to how your body feels as you're doing these motions. Part of what we're doing here is consciously paying attention to what we're doing, so that way the rest of the time when autopilot kicks in, we can trust our autopilot. We know our autopilot knows how to stand correctly. We know our autopilot knows how to move through space and avoid things or grab things as needed, because we have been consciously training our bodies to do that. You may notice I'm panting a bit. Level 3 is cardio. This is our cardiovascular exercise where I'm increasing the challenge, which means I'm using more oxygen, which means I'm gasping for air. But we know what? If I breathe through my nose, I'm gonna get much more effective oxygen absorption, right? So I'm gonna slow down. And slow down that breath, because I don't want to decrease my CO2 tolerance. I wanna make sure that my CO2 tolerance is good. Because the slower my breathing is, the less likely my body is to think that I'm in danger. The more rapid my breathing is, the more likely my body thinks I'm in danger as I lower and reduce my CO2 tolerance, which causes me to gasp for more air, which reinforces to my nervous system that I'm in danger. So this is how we train our bodies. That's why exercise is good. That's the whole purpose of cardiovascular exercises. Training our bodies to cope with stress and to be able to cope with more pressure. The appearance of our bodies, that's a side effect. If the reason that you're working out is to look good, shift your focus, my friends. The reason that we're working out is so that we can function. Functionality is what matters most, not appearance. That's secondary. The only appearance that matters is my form good? How does my form appear? Am I following my planes? Am I staying within those planes? When I move through them, am I conscious of how my feet are? Am I breathing? And there you are. So that's it for today. Level 3, keep going for as long as you want. Put on a timer or not. Close your eyes. Feel where you are in space. Listen to your environment. Get in touch with your environment through your feet, through the sounds that you hear. Perhaps even engage yourself, orient yourself through smell if that's possible. The more that we work with our eyes closed, the more we start to engage and work with our other senses. And the more that we work with those other senses, the more practice they are, then the more information they're able to gain for us, and the more we can take in from our environments. So our experience becomes a lot richer. All right, thank you so much. Level 3, moving our spheres through space. And I will see y'all next week with level 4 and 5 as we wrap up our feet and then move on to the core, which is our next, because the force moves up from our feet up to our core, to our hips, our centers. We'll get into that later. All right, thanks. Bye.